We're going to have a look at the kanji on page 11 now, beginning with this character over here, which means body. We use it in the subject PE, physical education, and in fact it's exactly the same as the English word. Body, of course, stands for physical, and if we go to the full word over here, we see it's body, pronounced tai, plus iku, and iku actually means education. So they use the same word, body education, in other words, physical education. You put the two together and you get tai iku, taiku. Let's have a closer look at this kanji over here. It's quite easy to remember, I think. I'm sure you recognize this element on the left-hand side, ichi, ni. That's actually the character for a person. When you write it as a single character, you may recall it looks like that. But when you use it as an element in another kanji, then you have to squish it up like that so that it fits into the left-hand side. So we've got a person on the left, and on the right-hand side, I'm sure you recall this, we've got a tree, so branch across, trunk going down, two branches there looking just like a tree, but with the ground indicated so that the focus is not on the tree, but on the bit under the ground, in other words, the root of the tree. So this element here on the right, that's the hon from nihon, if you recall. It means the source or the root of something. So we've got the source or the root of a person, which is obviously their body. Next, we're looking at the kanji meaning to change or to change into something, and we use this for the subject chemistry. It makes sense, really. If you think about it, it's the kanji for to change into something added to the kanji for learning. Ka gaku. Ka gaku. In other words, studying the process of change. And if you think about it, that's kind of what chemistry is, isn't it? At the very tiniest level. Let's have a look at the stroke order of that kanji and how we're going to remember it. On the left-hand side, we have again that element which we know means persons, and that's always ichi, ni, going from either left to right or top to bottom, isn't it? On the right-hand side, we meet what is almost identical to our katakana character, he. And in fact, the real meaning of this is the same as the story that we used to remember katakana he, which is a little child sitting on the floor with his arms upstretched, and he wants to be picked up. That's how we remember it, isn't it? He. In this case, it's someone sitting, and then on the left-hand side, someone standing up or a person. So it's talking about the change in state from sitting to standing. Or for us, we can think of the change in state from being a tiny baby to a full-grown person. To change. The next kanji we're going to look at is this one here, learning. It's pronounced gaku, and we already know it from words such as shogakko, primary school, and chugakko, etc. Even though we know it, let's just have a quick refresh as far as the stroke order and the story goes. Okay, on top we have what looks like a katakana tsu, ich, ni, san, and that's actually the learning that's being pushed down there through the school roof. There's the roof here, ichi, across, and a little ticky thing there. Then underneath we've got the little child with all that learning being stuffed into it. There's its head, and then its little body, and there its arms across there. So there we have gaku, learning. Now if we add su to gaku, we get su-gaku. Su-gaku, and that means maths. At this stage we don't need the character for su, so you can just write it in hiragana, su-gaku.